right. So my name is Dewayne Hyatt. I've spoken to some of you before in the past. I was at the last Symposium a couple years ago, and it's going to be pretty fun, I hope. We've had a lot of changes in the last 2 years, and we're going to try to show off some futuristic technology for you folks. How many of you here, please raise your hand, you don't have to say where you're from, if you are at a county extension office that does not utilize UF networking? So Okaloosa's, the Seminoles, the Oranges, the Sarasotas, the Polks, the St. John's, the I can keep going. Okay, so the last time you saw me talk, the solutions that I gave you were really only applicable for county extension offices that use the UF IT offering. But this time it's for everyone. So I think this is going to be pretty exciting. This is a service that we are going to launch very soon that all of you can enjoy no matter where you're at in the world. So I hope you like our session title. I didn't make up that hashtag, that's real. So we're going to talk about the cloud. Anybody here use the cloud? You all use, everybody raise your hand because you all use it. The cloud was a thing that some marketing dude made up that basically when you draw a network diagram and you're trying to represent like a long distance link between two places, the icon they would use was a cloud in between. And some marketing guy saw that and thought, oh, all stuff's in the cloud. And so now everybody talks about the cloud. You guys have been using the cloud since Hotmail, AOL, Mail. All the cloud means is a service that is hosted on your behalf by a company somewhere else. So in a professional, hopefully a professional data center. The cloud that we'll be talking about in this session is the Microsoft cloud. So they have the most extensive network on the planet. And so, whoops, that's the wrong page. So we're going to talk about a product called Microsoft Teams. Have you guys heard of Microsoft Teams? Okay. Microsoft Teams is the fastest growing product that Microsoft has ever released. They have the most resources dedicated to Microsoft Teams over any of their other platforms that they have launched. But Teams is about 2 years old. So it's not new. We're not throwing you guys in, trial by fire of a beta program that nobody's ever seen before. It is extensively used across the planet, especially in the Fortune 100 sector, and other EDUs have been using it for quite a while. So we're happy to bring it to UF. It is your hub for teamwork. It does all of the things that we think you might want to do all in one place. So our objective with Teams is to simplify your experience with Office 365. Have you used Office 365? Has anyone gone to office.com and logged in with their Gator link? Probably not. So this brings all of those applications that we offer to you that you may not even know exist all into one place. So we're hoping that this will become the first thing that you open when you come to work in the morning. Will be Outlook and Teams. It allows the sharing of documents throughout your team, throughout university-wide, and then using other applications that mesh with Teams, like OneDrive, you can share with your peers outside of the university as well. So we really try hard. we try really hard to protect your data. The last session that I gave 2 years ago, we talked about the rule that we follow in IFAS called the 3-2-1 rule, where we have 3 copies of your data in 2 separate systems and 1 copy is offsite. We do that, but we do that from these rooms. These are real county extension office pictures. I didn't make these up or find these on Google. I won't tell you which counties there are, but this is more or less what it looks like wherever we go. I have been to every single county extension office that has one of our servers at least 3 times. I put all these things in. I did not put in the cinder block or the bottle of bleach. There might be some flooding problems. It was definitely Ben, though. Right, Ben did it. So my question to you is, given we do the best we can with what we've got, what is the best way to Would you rather have your data in these closets or in a server room that looks like this? Or that? Or have whatever that stuff is? Or be in professionally constructed buildings that are designed to withstand natural disasters and all of those things. So these are Microsoft data centers. These are all real places. Again, I didn't go find these and just start yanking them from Google. These are real. Microsoft cloud is called Azure. Or if you're from across the pond, they call it Azure, but I'm gonna go with Azure. The Azure cloud is Microsoft's, this is it. This is the guts of it. So we are going to take you guys on a little trip. How many of you knew that Florida has 68 counties? We made up a 68th county. So we're a small county. There's only 6 of us. Some of us are working from home today. Some of us are here in this room. Some of us are literally out in the field doing work. But we're going to take you on a little trip through our life in our county. We're a special county, though. We specialize in dinosaurs and dinosaur research. And we are Jurassic County Extension Office. Yeah. So this is Microsoft Teams. This is the collaboration platform that we talked about, and the navigation, I want to cover this real quick. The navigation that you get is basically, you get your team, you get your channels, and then you get your content. It's really easy navigation to move from left to right. You can see I'm a member of several teams. I have them all minimized now, but the only one I really care about today is Jurassic County, because we are going to have a busy day. So the first thing that I can do with Teams is, I was working on a file last night, and I had a few too many coffees, and I had some issues with that file. Now, let's see if I can get to my dinosaur lesson. I can open up any of my files that my unit uses, or any of my personal files that I access off of my OneDrive, all through Teams. I can choose to edit that file in Word or Word Online. I can do this from a computer that doesn't even have Office installed. So I can do this from my home computer, I can do this from my mom's computer, I can do this from a kiosk somewhere in a Starbucks. So I'm going to edit this file in Word. Oh, I also want to, I didn't give you guys the disclaimer. We're trying to do a live demo for all of you. It's going to be, it's either going to go really good or really bad.
Make the appropriate sacrifices to the demo god.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So this is a document that I was working on last night, and I seem to have accidentally deleted the entire first page of my document. So luckily, since I'm using the cloud, I'm using OneDrive, every single time I make a change to my document, it saves it as a new version. So I can go back in time without having to call an IT guy to do a restore for you. Not that we mind, but you can do this on your own. I can go back in time and I can see versions of things that I was working on, last night at 10:08 when I had those coffees, or this morning. And I can open that version and I can see there's a huge difference between that page and that page. And I can go back and I can compare and restore these documents. So the power of the cloud is working for me here by doing things for me without me having to think about it. As soon as I make that edit, it's going to make that version. You can have, 500 versions of a document?
I think up to almost to 1,000, but they default at around 500.
I really hope nobody ends up having 1,000 versions of a document. But if you needed it, you could have it. So this also works inside of the files that we use inside of Teams. So my team, if I go to my channel, our general channel where we have some conversation, I have all of the files that my team works on all stored in Teams. And I can open these files like this is a, I don't know what this is. This is a picture. Are those little brontosauruses? They kind of look like it. Maybe this is a picture one of our field agents took. I'm not sure. We've got some spreadsheets, that have some data. We can open all these on the fly without having to switch back and forth between Excel or my browser window. I can edit these things right here. Whoops. Just click edit. So I can go in here and I can start making changes to these documents. I can change this to a 20. I can close it. It's automatically saved as soon as I make the change because it's in the cloud. And then that versioning applies as well. Since I made that change, I can go back and revert that change. Or any of my teammates could. So if Joe has too many copies one night and he changes the spreadsheet, I can go back in time and revert those changes, or at least see what changes were made.
Excuse me, is there a way to make sure that if two teammates are working on it, that they don't overwrite each other or something?
We'll get there.
Good question.
That is a good question. The title of our session is Cloudy with a Chance of Collaboration. So we might collaborate later in the sessions. So I'm glad you asked that, though. I'm glad that's on your mind. That's good. Let me find my place here. So how many of you have heard of ransomware? How many of you are at one of those offices that I had to restore your entire server share because somebody got hit by ransomware? None of you? Okay.
Nobody's admitting it.
Yeah, nobody wants to raise their hand for that one. Yeah, so I've had a few extension offices call where someone got infected with a virus. What ransomware does is it essentially scrambles the files that are on your hard drive, and it makes it so that you can't access them. And then a hacker will basically say, you need to pay me so much money in order to get the key to unlock all of your files. And it's impossible for us to unlock those files without said key. Now, because of
It's very easy for you guys to pay us instead of.
Yeah, we'll take the payment and we'll give you your stuff back. So right now, with the 3-2-1 rule that I referenced earlier about making sure that we protect your data even though it's on a cinder block, we will restore that data from the previous night. Now, you have to call us when that happens, but because of the cloud, you can go to office.com and you can actually do your own data restores. Have any of you seen office.com? Okay. So if you go to office.com and log in, you'll see all of the applications that are a part of the Office 365 suite. These applications are what I'm referring to as the centralized hub that is Teams. You can access Teams from office.com. You can access your OneDrive from office.com. And I wanted to point out, like we were saying earlier, you can do this from anywhere with any computer from any location so long as you have internet. So if I click the gear and let's say I got infected by ransomware and all of a sudden all of my data is gone, scrambled, I can't open any of it. Because we're using OneDrive to store all of our documents, I can actually restore my entire OneDrive myself as the end user. I can select a date. This happened yesterday or the day before, or I can do a custom date, and I can see on a graph when the most changes occurred to my OneDrive. So yesterday I got hit by ransomware. There were 15,000 changes. That would be a pretty good indication of when the ransomware happened. So I can go to the day right before that, and I can just slide this slider back, and it will show me all of the files that will have been affected by that change.
This is only ones that you've done through this OneDrive, though. It's not everything on your computer already.
Correct. Well, we're going to help you guys with that. I'll get into that too. So I didn't demonstrate the Teams web application, but I meant to. So a Teams comes in a few different flavors. You can run the application on your computer as a program, or you can access Teams online through a browser. This doesn't require you to do any kind of installation. And for those of you at those counties that we don't have the ability to manage, the Teams application does not require administrative rights. You can do it yourself. You don't have to call those guys to do it.
Windows or Mac.
Yeah, and it's available for Windows or Mac. There are also mobile clients available for iOS and Android. So that same document that I was working on just a minute ago, I can open up Teams on my phone. Actually, I was working in OneDrive on that, wasn't I? You can also do versioning from the mobile application. I will admit doing it on like a 4.5 or 5-inch screen is not as nice as doing it on a laptop, but if you were in a pinch, you could definitely do it. So I'm able to access anything that my team uses or anything that I store on my OneDrive from my phone using cellular data. I do not have to be on the UF network to do this. I can click around, I can communicate, I can video chat, I can open up files, I can take a look at notes using OneNote. How many of you have tried OneNote? Okay. So OneNote is integrated into Teams. It's kind of like a handbook where you can store all of your information and your protocols, your procedures. It's searchable, it's rich, you can edit or you can import pictures, you can attach files, you can link in videos and play them. It's a fantastic product, and we're going to show it off a little later. I know I keep saying that, everything's later, but we'll get there. So we're going to do a scenario recap of our daily work at Jurassic County, since we're completely based on Teams and OneDrive and some of the technologies that were used in this.
We've gone over OneDrive, and that's your home drive. You're going to consider that is your personal files. You might be using Dropbox now. You can continue to use Dropbox. You start using OneDrive and Teams. You're going to see that as we continue through these scenarios we bring you, the integration there really enhances that feature of using OneDrive. OneDrive, you're getting 5 terabytes of storage that comes along with that. Our Dropbox at the university is continuing to expand and grow, and there's some indications that we'd like to kind of reduce that because that is very expensive. This 5 terabytes of storage for every one of you is free. It's part of the Microsoft services that's provided to EDUs.
In contrast, your file servers that you have at your county extension offices right now have a 2 terabyte capacity for your entire unit. So this is 5 terabytes per individual user using OneDrive.
You might think, how do my computer has 500 megs or a terabyte hard drive. How do I actually enable the ability to put 5 terabytes up there if I have it? There's something called Files on Demand. It's basically a way where files that you don't need all the time just live in the cloud. So it will look like it's on your computer, and if you need to access it, it will pull it down from the cloud, but it just lives in the cloud. So you could have a smaller hard drive and still put that much data in the cloud for you.
So that icon represents that those files are available to me, and they look like they're on my computer, but they're actually stored in the cloud. And when I click them, it's going to recall them from the cloud automatically. So that's how Joe was saying you can fit tons and tons and tons of stuff on your tiny laptop's hard drive. At least make it accessible.
So if you have some things that you're kind of not sure you want to get rid of and delete, you can basically turn that file into just living in the cloud, and it'll still have access to it on your computer at any time you need it when you have internet. The mobile access through the phone, web access, that really kind of is what enhances this product for everyone. It is available from anywhere you need it on any device. The versioning. How many of you will start working on a presentation or a publication, and you start making copy 1, copy 2, copy 3?
Or you email it around,
You know?
and then you end up with everybody having a different version.
Yeah, exactly. So that versioning is built in. That can save you from having that growth of all these files. Sure, we just gave you 5 terabytes, but you still have to manage all those copy 1, copy 2. Did I remember to start editing in the right copy as I start working again? Can take care of that. And the other thing is having OneDrive. You're going to have one place for your files. We'll show a little bit later on how you can basically keep that file you're working on and share it around with everyone, and have one copy of it, one version, one location. It's going to save a lot of headaches of, again, when you email a file around, does everybody have the latest copy? That's something this is going to solve, that kind of problem. The file recovery and rollback, again, that puts you in control of when we all delete the wrong file or edit and forget that we really wanted that section. We can recover that and bring it back. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
What if I like Bambi's updates? Okay. And so, I don't like the change she makes. Can I get back to the way it was? I don't like it.
Yeah, you can go back in the versions and look at one prior to her making those changes. Yeah, there was a question back here.
I have a question. I use the Microsoft Online and I use Google Docs a lot. And one of the things that is, you edit those online, you don't have all the features that when you download it on your computer to use Microsoft Word. If I download that, do I have to upload it back on there, or is it simultaneously saved?
Yep. So the question was, do I have to download the file in order to be able to use the full rich experience of Word to get all the features that I need? Word Online and Excel Online are extremely feature rich. I'm not going to say that they're equal as feature parity, but they do have a significant amount of features that are available in the browser, and they'll work very well if you're on a computer that doesn't have Office installed. But if you choose to edit the file in Word, it will edit it directly in the cloud. You do not need to download the file to your computer, make your changes, and then remember to upload it back. It will do it all automatically on the fly.
I have a question about that too. So the cloud storage, if I'm working on a large file, I have to, and it's in the cloud, when I click on it, it downloads it to my device, and then when I close it, does it automatically go back into the cloud, or do I have to want it back, tell it to go back?
No, it's all automatic, yeah. So once you start working on a file, you'll see that, let me see if I can find. So this little section here, if I could draw. So that one file has a green check mark by it. That means that I've accessed that file or that folder, and the OneDrive client has basically saved a copy of it to my computer. So as I edit that file, it will synchronize those changes back up to the cloud. It will only synchronize changes that you make. You don't have to wait on it to re-upload a gigantic file.
Right, but my question is, once I've opened that, and it's got the green check mark by it, that means it's on my hardware, right? Mm-hmm. How do I want it to go back to the cloud because it's a large file, when I'm done with it, how do I?
It will do it, it will happen automatically. So anything that's in your OneDrive folder on your computer is also in the cloud.
Right. But I'm saying, how do I make sure it's no longer on my
Oh, you want to free up space? I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
One thing to think about is when you do work on those files locally, and you're often maybe on a laptop or something like that, you want to give it a few seconds if it's a very large file to make sure it has moved back up into the cloud. And you'll get notifications and be able to tell for that.
Yeah, if your network connection is not good, or you suddenly lose your network connection.
Well, you will be at least working on it locally, and when you regain, connectivity, that file will automatically start trying to upload again once you get back on a network.
I've noticed on my county one, I was working on PowerPoint, very heavy, pictures and all kinds of stuff. But every time I'd save it because it scared the crud out of me. And it was, bid, you know, like the old stuff, bid, really? Now, we're saving it in their cloud, but it took a long time, to me. It ought to be just done, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It took a little while, then.
Okay.
Is that
So,
wrong?
well, I would say it really depends on the size of the file and your network. There's probably a number of little issues there. So,
Yeah.
we're seeing, I mean, with OneDrive, we are, for the last 2 years or so, that's just nothing but OneDrive, and it's been working great. So.
Oh, yeah, so, sorry. The last point is,
Sorry, one more question, sorry. Yep.
Yeah, I had a question. So, sorry, feeding off their two questions. So, she talked about using like Google Docs or whatever, and she talked about like if, I think she said they made changes, and she wanted to go back. So, like, I know from using Google Docs, because that's something that I have used in the past, that when somebody else makes changes, you can literally see that, like it tells you the time. When you go back into versions, does it tell you that as well? So, like, say I made a file and I shared it in my Teams with Paulette. If she made changes and, like she said, I didn't like them, is it going to show me where? Is it going to show me where it's going to say like Paulette made changes, or is it just going to say version 75 at 10:15 a.m.?
It will pick up the person who owned that file at the time that they were making those changes. It will show the user.
So it would like say Paulette or Bambi, so you would know. Okay, thank you.
so the last point is, we're going to do a big QA at the end. I'm sorry, I don't mean to do this, but we're going to have a whole section at the end dedicated to questions. So if you'll save some of them, we'll try to get through them as quickly as we can. But we've got several parts left to discuss. So this is a huge application.
Sorry to interrupt, but it seems like to me there is a lot of questions. So, I mean, is everybody on board if we had like more training, more deeper dives in each one of these technologies and stuff? Would everybody attend if we did that?
Yes.
So we definitely need to set that up and try and get that on the road.
Okay.
I think it would be a good idea if y'all came to the district back to meetings.
I've asked. I would love to. Yeah, I want to get on those agendas for sure. All right. So our last point that we made a few times is that this is ubiquitous. So we're in Jurassic County. We don't operate in America. We operate on Pangea, right? So anywhere in Pangea, you can get to Microsoft Teams, whether you're on a MacBook, an iPhone, Android, county network, non-county network, Martian network. It doesn't matter. So, sorry. So I just got a message from my boss. He needs a receipt for our last Stegosaurus tranquilizer kit that we bought. So, all right. How many of you guys have to deal with that? Like having to submit receipts? Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? So, I have the receipt. Yeah. So, one of the cool things that I can do now with the cloud is I effectively have a scanner in my pocket. So I keep all of my receipts in a folder called Receipts, and then I can select the scan button.
What?
And it will automatically crop the photo for me, make a scan of it.
We got prior P-card approval. So.
Yeah.
So you can get suspended.
So I'm going to save that file. I'm going to upload it to my OneDrive from my phone.
Why don't you describe the app, the name of it, where they can get it? There's some questions back here.
Sure.
Oh, that's an app. Scanner, it's an app. It's not-
Built into the OneDrive client.
It is part of OneDrive for Android and iOS. It's not a separate app. You can get OneDrive on your phone and you can get Teams on your phone, and the technology for scanning is built into both. You'll see here, what day is today? 5/8/9/16 a.m. Yep, so this file right here is the file that I literally just scanned a few seconds ago. is now available to me on my computer. If I double click it, it will recall the file and it will show me a copy of it. So,
Wait, did you get tax on that? Huh?
no, I'm tax exempt. Come on. I don't want to have to deal with those guys and their services. So Chris wants my receipt, and he's, your management type, and he wants it now. So in my chat, I can attach a file directly from my OneDrive. And since I was just recently working in my receipts folder, it's going to sort it by things that I was working on recently, so I don't have to go hunting around for it. And I can click the file that I just modified a few minutes ago and share it. Say, here you go. Yeah, leave me alone now. So what I've done is, like a ninja in the background, OneDrive has created a shared link for Chris, and Chris can now access that file, even though the file's still on my OneDrive. And all of the conversations that I have with Chris from this point forward, I can see those files that I've shared with him on the Files tab of our conversation. So this gives me one easy place to go to see all the things that Chris and I were collaborating on: receipts, documents, spreadsheets, images, any kind of thing like that.
So when Chris tells you you didn't get it, you go,
I can say, go check Teams, take a look. So this kind of highlights Teams' ability to do chat, kind of like how Skype for Business would work. These are one-on-one chats, instant messages back and forth between me and anyone in the entire university. The other side of chat is called conversation. Conversation is between you and your team. So over on the Teams tab, I can see, because I've got a bold notification here, that somebody in one of my field agents has posted a message, so I can go read and see what's going on. Has anybody dealt with a sick raptor before? This guy has. All right. I don't think they like tacos very much. So Teams has a pretty cool, you guys like memes? Who doesn't like memes, right? So Teams has a thing called stickers, and I feel bad. I feel bad for Wayne there dealing with sick raptor. And wouldn't you know it, there is actually a crying taco. There's a picture for anything, literally anything. So apparently this guy was feeding tacos to his raptors, and I'll call the vet and see if we can rent the stomach pumper again. Last incident, okay. All right, well, it's in quotes, it couldn't have been a good thing, so. So this is highlighting our ability to chat. Oh, there's a new message. We're in luck. We have one, we found a vet, he'll go out, he'll take care of it. I hope. Or they'll take care of him, one or the other. So, this is pretty funny. So our communications in here are only between me and my teammates. So today is Wednesday. Wednesday are our normal staff meeting days. We're a little dispersed today. We're kind of all over the place, and I'm not super sure if everybody's going to be able to make the staff meeting. So I'm going to fire off a quick poll and see if, let's say 9:30 works for everyone. So I'm going to tag the forms bot, and I'm going to say meeting at 9:30. Yes or no? So it's going to create a poll for me and poll my people so they can vote in and let me know if 9:30 is going to work for our morning staff meeting. And it's definitely going to work for me. So because I'm running it. I'll be there. It's got 2 people voted yes. So I'm going to let that run for a few minutes, and I'll come back and check on it. We'll see what we got.
I want to highlight this is created on the fly. These are not previous forms. These are created.
Oh yeah, no, I was not kidding. We're doing the worst thing you can do in a technology demo. We're doing it live, all based on LTE wireless. So.
Everybody's phones dingy or anything like that, how do they know to go that you've asked them for response? Be logged in?
Well, the folks that are voting aren't here.
They're in the field.
Yeah, my agents are in the field.
Do they get a notification?
Oh yeah,
that
yes,
there's something
yes,
on?
yes, yeah, they will.
Where did that stop sign come from? Where did forms come from?
So Forms is one of those applications that's offered through Office 365. It allows you to create a form or a quiz even, they call it. It gets a survey, and you can share it externally if you use Forms directly. But because of the integration between Teams and Office 365, I can use a feature called a bot, where I can actually have Forms do something for me quickly without having to go to the Forms website and deal with going to another application. So I was able to tag the Forms bot and create a post, a really quick and dirty poll just to get an answer. And you can have up to 6 responses in your poll that you create. So, got 6 minutes till our staff meeting? Yeah, I think. So, I think before our staff meeting, Joe and I have a little bit of work to do. What were we working on?
Let's go over their budget.
Okay.
We have some budget to work on.
We have a budget folder. We have a spreadsheet with our budget in it. All right, so here's some line items that we have a few blanks. So
Yeah, we've got a couple to add there. I got some info on the cost for the backup vet. I'm gonna fill that out and take care of that line.
Okay.
Able to figure out how many cattle we need to feed.
Oh, it tells me that Joe's editing the workbook, and Joe, there's Joe there. Do we have any cattle experts in the room? What's a cow going for these days?
$1,200.
$1,200?
Well, let's get, we need a lot we need to feed the raptors.
One I can eat.
Well,
Cheap one or 600.
One I can
feeder
eat.
cows.
Yeah.
We need feeder cows.
Oh, feeder cows?
To the raptors. We need to feed the raptors.
Yeah. All right. $600 cow. How many cows does a T-Rex eat in a day?
I don't know.
12?
Probably. It's like a 6-month program. It's a 6-month program. We need a lot more.
All right. So, does this look good?
I think that looks good.
All right. So we got our budget finalized.
Show off where you can see me editing up there.
So there was a question earlier about working on documents together. We call that co-authoring. Office Online, when you use documents in what they call a next generation storage location, say that a bunch of times, which is basically OneDrive and Teams, it supports co-authoring if you're using Office 365. You can do it in Office Online, or you can do it in Office like installed on your computer. So I can see that Joe is up here editing the document with me. We can actually have chat inside of the document. And I can see where Joe is inside the document, and he can see where I am inside the document. And so we can work on these things together. He made 60.
They're hungry.
Oh, okay.
And we don't want hungry raptors.
No, trust me. T-Rexes, either one. So
this co-authoring will work in Excel, PowerPoint, Word documents. And it's at least 10 at a time. It can be in here, I think at least 10. If you got more than 10 inside of a document, you might want something else, but it's possible.
So quick recap of some of the things that we did in our preparation for our staff meeting and our chatting back and forth is I was able to scan a document with my phone and send it over to my boss. We did file sharing through OneDrive, even though we did it through Teams, because those products mesh and work together. They're very tightly integrated, and you get the benefits of both all in one place. We're able to do a one-on-one chat, kind of an ad hoc message where I just need to get a quick note to someone or, make a point really quick. We had a conversation with our team about an unfortunate incident, but don't worry. We got that fresh FSU grad. He's on his way. We throw up a poll. We throw up a meeting poll to find out if 9:30 is a good time for our staff meeting that we're going to have. And we showed off some co-authoring capabilities. So got a few minutes before our staff meeting starts.
I'm going to check your email.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails. So, Mesozoic County, these guys. Anybody get emails like this? We get emails all the time saying they're going to test the fire alarms or whatever. Well, this time it's a scheduled dinosaur attack. Now, because it came from this other county, they're a little behind. Mesozoic period happened before the Jurassic period. So I need to get this information to my team, but we don't use email for this kind of stuff because we're high tech, right? We use Teams. So how am I going to do that? Well, it's pretty easy. Every single Teams channel has an email address. So I can just click the dots, get the email address, copy it over, flip over to my alert, whoops, and I can just simply forward it over. And it will send that email, and it will automatically post it in the Teams channel. So those counties that are a little behind the times, we can kind of make up for them and get those messages posted into Teams really easily with just, I think that took me like 3 clicks. So we'll see if it makes it. And again, I'm doing a live demo. Oh, there it is. I was about to make an excuse, but then it worked. So here's the email. You could download the original message. It is marked as important because his email was marked as important. Pretty cool. Oh, it's time for our staff meeting. So we're going to go ahead and get our staff meeting going. We use a dedicated channel for the staff meeting. This is because we like to record our staff meetings. So Microsoft Teams uses a technology called Stream to do an automatic recording. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up my meeting. We're going to call it Staff Meeting 1. We're going to meet now. Anybody camera shy? So Joe is going to join me, but this guy behind him doesn't like being on camera. We're going to blur him out. Have you guys seen that commercial where the news anchor had the kid in the background waddling around while he was doing the live interview on like BBC or something? Yeah. So
this is not built into the camera. This is not.
No, this is an application feature. So
part of Teams.
Yeah. So since I've got my staff meeting started, my team is going to see the option to join the meeting in the staff meetings channel. So here comes the first one. Now, proper etiquette in a staff meeting is to mute yourself. So I'll mute everyone until it's their turn to talk. Got one more coming. That's a dog. Okay. So now that everybody's here, I'm going to go ahead and get the recording started. Maybe. Okay. Does it actually go? Yep. like we might be lagging out a little bit here.
I was just gonna say, when you're on a good network, it's nice and steady screen. It's just.
Yeah. So it's downgraded the quality a little bit to handle it. So we're gonna go ahead and get our staff meeting started. This is a stand-up meeting. I'm gonna go around real quick and talk to my guys and see what they've got going on. So we'll start with Wayne. Wayne, you got anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
So all I have is the issue with Farmer Hammond and Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. So the FSU vet that we sent out there, have we heard anything back?
No, we haven't heard anything.
Okay, I'm gonna move on from that.
We've got the Tiny Danos 4-H camp coming up, so we need to lock down the schedule.
Okay, so we've got a planner already going for that. If you could go through the to-dos and assign those tasks out as you see fit. So, Chris, you're last. You got anything going on?
Yeah, I'm about ready to board a boat for a 7-day jungle cruise. So I'll be gone for about a week. So I'll see you guys later.
All right. It's funny, that's not far off from real life.
He was outside on his phone.
Yeah, so he joined from his phone. We'll go ahead and stop the recording. All right, guys, thank you. See you later. Yeah. All right. So apparently our help desk doesn't know that I'm giving a presentation right now. So, if you heard, I asked Andrew to send me or to go into our planner and assign me the task because we have our 4-H camp coming up and we've got some reviews that we need to do. So Planner is a project management light type application and that's built into Teams, and I get a notification that I've been assigned something that I need to work on. So it says review the classroom kit, so I can open up this task and it will take me directly to my channel. We have a 4-H channel. As I'm sure all of you will like to have a 4-H channel. Everyone has a 4-H program, right? So this is the task that I've been assigned. I'm supposed to review our classroom kit. He has conveniently attached the document that I am supposed to review to the task, so I don't have to go hunting for it. I can just click on it and take a look at it. Maybe. All right.
So again, the file is one file, one location. It's not a copy. It's going to be the exact file you're all working on.
So we're going to be doing some graffiti, legal graffiti, painting some dinosaurs. I haven't seen this document in a little while, but I'm pretty sure it's right. So I'm going to go ahead and say that we're good to go. I'm going to close out. I'm going to go to what am I doing here, Joe? Tasks. I'm going to check that off as complete. So that's going to move that over to the completed bucket. So this works in the concept of buckets for work. So we have many, many, many buckets, and our team, here's our buckets that we use. Got quite a bit of stuff to do. And Planner is a really convenient tool that allows us to put all those tasks in one place, assign and delegate, and we can see kind of an idea of overall what we're dealing with and what our schedule is looking like for when we have things due for this particular project. So we have a situation in the field, it looks like. That might be an IFAsaurus, I'm not really sure. So I think I need to call this guy because this thing looks a little sketchy. Okay. So if I hover over his name card, I can fire up a video call with him. Sounds.
Hello, James.
So where are you at right now, Dan?
Oh, here I am. Wait a minute. Your ID says Dewayne. I thought it was James. Ha! That's a good joke.
Okay.
Listen, I'm on the Northeast Copyboro Trail in Jurassic County. The local farmers have been complaining about a pest that's been bothering them for the last 2 weeks. Did you get the pictures I sent you?
I did, but I'm not really sure what we're dealing with here.
Well, it's got smooth, scaly skin, very large incisors, and very large, humongous legs, and a bad attitude to boot.
Okay.
Any ideas?
Is that the only one that you've seen so far, or are there more?
Right now, this is the only one I've been able to track down.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna call Andrew real quick. Let me add him.
All right. The more the merrier, James.
This is Andrew.
Hey.
Ah! Hello, Andrew.
I got Dan deep in the woods here dealing with some sort of weird dinosaur-looking thing. Did you see the pictures he posted?
Yeah, I saw him.
Any idea?
I have no idea what it is, but I have a colleague from New Oxford University who I think might have an idea. We should contact him.
Okay.
Let's do
All
it.
right.
Hey, Andrew, you look ravishing today, by the way.
Dino doctor. Thanks, Dano.
Listen, these farmers have been complaining about their sugarcane crops, and 3 chickens have disappeared. So we are just wondering what this pest could possibly
Well,
be.
if it's just eating chickens, we might be okay. But let me call you back, Dan. All right.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Let's call you guys back. Okay. So what are we gonna do here? All right. I'm gonna download these pictures to my computer. That's a sketchy looking thing, isn't it? Okay, so got them downloaded. They're going to be, ironically, in my downloads folder. So Andrew was saying that he's got a colleague and he sent me his email address, but he doesn't work at the University of Florida, but he's an expert in dinosaurs. So I'm going to share these. We're using OneDrive since I can share outside of our, delete that one, paste these in. So I'm going to create a quick share. So from Windows, without going online, I can just right click, get a little share window. We've got to contact our expert. He is the Dino Doctor at gmail.com. And I'm going to fire this off to him. So they'll get a notification that I've shared some stuff and we'll have a chance to review it. So see here that I get a confirmation email from OneDrive that I created the share. So this is handy for me to see that it's been confirmed, it made it, it's been sent. So we'll give him a few minutes. He's a super busy guy. So we'll give him a few minutes to take a look at it, and hopefully we can get an ID on these critters that Dano is dealing with.
Check out the meeting in the stream.
Yeah, so we had our meeting just a minute ago, didn't we? So it looks like our recording for our staff meeting finished, and it is available online in Teams. We can go back and we can review the recording right here inside of Teams without having to leave. It'll load up Microsoft Stream and play it for us. I won't make you guys go through that again. I can view it online and stream. And Stream is, so we'll start with Wayne. Stream is basically kind of like corporate YouTube. You can have your own channels. You can share these videos that you've produced with anybody that is inside the university. It's a really great resource for doing training documents, capturing meeting notes and recordings from committee meetings and staff meetings and putting them all in one place. And since it tightly integrates with Microsoft Teams, you can watch those recordings without even having to leave Teams. We can also even link in a stream channel directly into Stream. And the other thing that it does that's pretty cool is it will automatically transcribe your video for you and create closed captions. It does it in a number of different languages, or it doesn't. We didn't set the language on this, did we? So first you need to set the language of the video, and we're working with the IT department to make a policy that will do this by default to get rid of this manual step. But you have to tell Stream what language you're speaking in the video in order for it to make those transcriptions for you. It kind of makes sense, right? So I'm going to give that a minute. Let that run.
Do you do your own video blog or your own podcast content for that?
Yeah, but Stream is corporate. So meaning Stream would be internal to anybody with a Gator link. It would not be external like YouTube, yes.
It's a great place to put your videos that you're working on and producing and get them approved or something like that before you maybe put them to a public location. And you could store them there, basically, if you want. Videos take up a lot of space. You can put those videos up into Stream and download them back down to the original file if you need to later.
To make corrections or changes.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a short. We've got a channel set up. Where's that at? So our meetings that we have, we can just create a tab right here inside of Teams that will load all of the meetings all in one place. And we can review those meetings, go back and watch them. See if Stream's done yet. Well, looks like it's still processing. This is the trouble with live demos. So.
When it does finish processing and you get the transcription and the closed captioning, you can actually edit the transcription right in the browser. So when there's words or acronyms that aren't accurate, you can very easily go fix that. You don't have to download a file and upload it. There's always a special format for transcription files, but you can do that all right in the browser.
All right.
I think the Dano doctor might have got back to us.
Did he?
Dr. Dano?
Dr. Dano. Yeah, we're still waiting on his response. So, I hope Dan's all right.
Yeah.
really hoping that this thing will crunch through the, there we go. So the transcriptions are up and live. They're also searchable. So we can go back and we can, I remember that Dan said something about this product and I can't remember where it was in the video, so I can just search for that word and it will show me every minute point in the video where that was talked about. The transcriptions, as Joe was saying, can be edited on the fly. So I can go into this transcript and say that, you know, it actually didn't screw anything up right here. So, but if it did, because we use a lot of technical terms in our meetings, it may misinterpret something we said. I can go back and I can clean this up so it makes a little more sense for someone in the future who might be searching these transcripts. And I am done. Room and see what everybody's up to this week. So it will go through and it will show you closed captioning pulled from those transcripts, and closed captioning is available in the Teams interface, but the editing of the transcript is only available in Stream. So I think that might be coming though. What do you think?
Editing?
Editing transcripts within Teams. So. See if the Dino doctors got back to us yet. Not quite. All of this stuff, like I was saying before, is available inside of the mobile application. So I can actually go back and play our video on my phone as well, because I know everyone wants to go home and watch staff meetings on your phone, right? And recap. So it's going to load up. It's going to load up Microsoft Stream right here for me on my phone. So I just wanted to demonstrate that there's not a lot of lacking features between this device and my laptop or my home computer. You can get to any of these things from any of those devices. Microsoft has worked very hard. This was not an application that they ported over. They didn't take Skype and bolt on a few features and then call it something new. They completely tore it apart, ripped it down, and built something new from the ground up. How many of you are iPhone? That's a lot of you. How many of you are Android? Okay, about 50-50. So they develop on iOS and Android. They develop on iOS and then on Android. So a lot of the features will come to the iPhone first and then come to Android. So you will not be left behind. They also completely built the Teams application for Mac. Are you Mac users? Come on, like two of you. That's about what I expect. So the application for Mac was also built from the ground up. It was not a port. All right, still waiting on the Dino doctor. Haven't gotten a response yet. See if it went to my spam. Nope, nothing in my junk mail. Hope Dan's all right. Is the Dino doctor all right? Do we need to send somebody to check on him?
I think there's some indications that that might not be a very a creature that he wants to be around much. You might want to give him a warning.
Okay.
I think it's not looking like a very good species to be near.
Oh.
Well, Andrew's saying he's got some info back there. So.
Woo! Okay, that is a Chromosaurus Rex.
Very interesting.
All right. So I'm not familiar with that species. So I'm going to search our team and see if we have any notes on said animal. So there's the message that popped up that Andrew sent me. I can search for any people named Chromosaurus, which I doubt there are any. I can also search for any files inside of my team that contain that word. Not just the title of the document, but the contents of the document. If it's inside of it, it will come back as a hit. So we use OneNote quite extensively in our county. So I'm going to go into my OneNote and see where this is inside of my OneNote. So we have multiple pages. It looks like we have an entire page on the Chromosaurus Rex. All right. So I'm gonna call Dan real quick. Hang on. So let me get a hold of him. So again, I'm gonna go to his contact card, give him a video call.
Hello again, James. Any word?
Hey, Dan, you got to get out of there, dude. Where are you?
Where am I? Let me give you my location.
Okay. Uh-oh. All right. Hey, Dan, I was looking through the notes, and it says that is a very, very dangerous species. So is that the only one that you've seen, or have you seen any more?
No, James, I just sent you my location, so you should be able to find me. I haven't seen any more. That reminds me, have you ever heard the one where your mom and your sister and... Wait a minute, James. What's this?
What's what? I don't see anything. Oh.
Oh, there's more.
You found more. Dude, you need to get out of there.
I'm going to get out of here, James. Watch
Okay.
out. I think I'll be okay, though. There aren't too many of them. I can outrun them. Wait a minute.
Are there more?
Wait a minute.
More.
James, call me wife. Call your mom. It's not going to work. Hey, whoa, look out. It's over, James. It's over for me. Let it go.
Good job opening.
We pay hazard pay sometimes. So if you guys are looking, we'll be hired. Whew, all right. That was pretty awesome. So sorry about that. It took a little while. So we did an online meeting. We recorded it. We created some transcriptions and closed captions. We showed off Planner and the ability to do project management and background blur. So those are some of the cool features that we have in Teams. One-on-one video calling and ad hoc video conferencing, as well as external sharing with a resource outside of the university, and the ability to search and find your documents. So we're getting towards a point in our technology where you don't have to remember where it is, you just have to know what it is. So you don't have to remember it's buried 32 subfolders down in some strange area that you haven't looked at since 2016. You can just search for it and it will bring it to you to the forefront. So Teams is huge, like we were saying earlier. Teams has been around for 2 years. It's used in 500,000 organizations. 97 out of the top 100 Fortune 100 companies are using Teams. 150 organizations with 10,000 plus active users, and 47% of other land-grant universities are using Teams. We, within the University of Florida right now, currently have 40 million files stored in OneDrive and 180 terabytes of storage consumed. So we got a lot of stuff in there, and you are all going to make that number skyrocket, right? You can get to Teams through the Teams demo site. You can download the client, install it on your computer. We have a training URL available that's going to have some documentation and some videos. We also use a product called Yammer, which is kind of like Facebook for work if you want to join and ask questions. I'll leave that up there for a second because some of you are going to take a picture.
That's our last.
Oh, that's the last slide? Okay. So we Who wants to be a part of the Jurassic County Extension Office? Anybody? We won't get fed to dinosaurs. All right.
Take names, take names.
If you want to become a member of the Jurassic County team, then come see me at the IT booth after the second session, and I'll give you a secret code. And if you install Teams, you can join the team that we just demoed. And you can chat with us, you can do video conferencing, you can play with all the features that are in Teams, and you don't have to worry about messing up anything. You can do whatever you want. Just don't put anything there that you want to keep, because we're probably going to end up tearing it down eventually. But my plan is to travel the state, go on the road show again, and go to each county extension office and work with you individually to move your data from your server into the cloud, into OneDrive and Teams. So, do we have anybody from Clay County? Matt? Matt's here. Clay County is already completely in Teams and OneDrive. So we're not just throwing you to the wolves in something that we've never done before. Clay County's been fully modernized. All of their files exist in Teams and OneDrive, and I'm very thankful that they have been tolerant of our learning mistakes that we have made along the way. You fed him the tacos? So I know we've got really limited time right now. Are there any questions? We'll start here.
In Teams, is creating channels kind of like creating folders, and then you have like people join? How does that work?
Sure. So our channels like folders, yes and no. Our guidance as of right now is you create a channel if you have a topic or subject that warrants its own conversation. So if you're just going to post something quick, you can just use the general channel. But if you have a platform or a service that you offer, like 4-H, that justifies its own conversation, then you can create a channel, and then you can put all of your 4-H files inside of that channel. All right.
One comment that I want to make is a team has permissions for who's going to be in it. So then any channel in your team, everybody can see that. If you want to have a restricted group, then you create a new team for that group.
Yeah, you can create a share in OneDrive with one other individual if you only want that one other person to see that data. But whatever you put in your team, the security boundary of the team is everyone who's in it. So channels cannot be locked down to only 2 or 3 people of the team. It's everyone. So here.
What if you do have a document that you really do need to protect some of the financial information? You don't want people changing it.
I would use OneDrive. Yeah, OneDrive is only accessible by you. It's kind of like your U drive. What county are you from?
I'm near the dinosaurs.
Oh. Well, that was way far away from here. Trust me. That was a whole other continent. Yeah, OneDrive is individual storage unless you specifically share something out. So think of it like your home folder. All right, Ben?
Naming convention for the teams?
We are going to pre-create a team for every county. So don't go off creating teams yet. Just wait. So we're going to create 66 because Clay's, our special people. So we're going to create all the remaining teams for you, and then we will, as we go around the state, we will start bringing you into those teams.
Are you going to create one for the district?
Yes, we have learned some lessons from some other projects, and we understand that each district would like to have its own team as well, and then all of those county members can be a part of it, so you can communicate out to your entire district in one shot.
So the same thing applies to research centers?
Yes. Yeah, we'll be meeting with research centers as well. Research centers are a little bit of a different ballgame for us because your research data, that big data, is still going to need to live on a file server. So one thing I forgot to mention was your team is a document library, is what we call it, where you store all of your stuff. The limitation on that is 25 terabytes. You're never going to use it. Trust me. Research centers might, but your research data, your big data that you're running simulations on and number crunching, we are still going to put that on a file server. But your documents, your forms, anything like that that needs to be shared around is going to live in Teams. And yes, we'll be talking to the recs as well. Yes, ma'am.
How do we get on the list to be in that group? I mean, are you just going to count that?
You're all on the list. You're all on the list. And it's literally as fast as him and I can work. So that's what it's going to be. So I'm sorry, but we're due for we're due for a refresh of our server hardware. So we're going to try to sync it up with that. So we'll install a new server and we'll get you on Teams and OneDrive at the same time.
That's really the next 6 months.
Yes, ma'am.
So in regards to, you're talking about offices, what about subject areas like on the campus, like family and consumer sciences? Would you have a umbrella family consumer sciences and then maybe different channels for nutrition, personal finance? Is that in the works?
Yeah, departmental level teams, kind of what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, so yes, we plan on making teams for each department. Some of our departments are already doing that. Dan had mentioned earlier, we have the IFAS ICC that comprises of about 35 people that work for Dan and 35 people that are employed directly by departments. Some of those department folks are already doing that.
And what she's alluding to, though, is our program teams. So we'll get together tonight.
Okay. I'll see you after this. So we're over on time. I'm sorry.
Just ask the question. If you ask a question, you want a little swag, you got anything like that?